Hey, so I'm Mitch Jenkins, Senior Loan Officer with Your Home Financial, and I want to talk to you today about the recent settlement between the Department of Justice, the National Association of Realtors, and give you some insight as to what happened and how that's really going to affect the consumer, because there's some major changes for buyers and sellers when it comes to real estate transactions. So I made 3 videos. First one's to talk about the actual settlement and what happened. Then I'll talk about how it's going to impact the selling side, and then also how it's going to impact the buying side of the transactions. So let's start with the lawsuit itself. Now, the NAR is the National Association of Realtors. So what is it? It's actually kind of like a trade organization. It's not really a union, but it's important to know real estate agents are basically self-employed individuals or independent contractors. So they don't have a W-2. They're not on like a payroll where they have benefits taken out and 401ks and things like that. They basically operate independent as their own business owner. Now, the NAR is the National Association of Realtors, and that holds real estate agents basically to a higher level or higher standard of conduct in the industry. So they set the rules on how real estate transactions are conducted across the country. And there's a lot of different associations. There's not just one. The NAR is basically the biggest one that's nationwide. Now, the Department of Justice, they had this lawsuit, actually several lawsuits were filed based on the commission, because consumers really didn't have a whole lot of transparency as to how the commissions worked for the realtors. And that's ultimately what triggered this and brought this whole thing up. Now, originally it was settled, and the Department of Justice said, you know what, we're just going to let things go. You know, it's not that bad, leave things alone. But the current administration kind of picked this back up and said, no, you know what, not good enough. We need some action here. We need better results. So that's where we find ourselves. Now, there was a settlement where the National Association of Realtors said, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to implement these changes. And just know that things are not final. We have until November 26th. This is the next date in 2024 where they're going to basically, the DOJ is going to look at this and determine if it's good enough or if we need to make additional changes. Now, it's also important to know that not every company that was sued is actually agreeing to the settlement right now. So it's still kind of a fluid situation. But for the most part, this is what's been adopted. And that's what I'm going to talk about in my videos here between the buying and selling side. So these changes really kind of impact how agents get paid, and ultimately for the consumer, the visibility and transparency into how these real estate commissions work. So if you're thinking about buying or selling a home, make sure you check out these videos to understand how this impacts you, and you know going in some of the changes that you can expect.